Welcome back to Almighty Blues FC, a fan channel for all to see. Not a great one, yes, it's not a great match day. It is, after all, Chelsea versus Burnley, and here is the review that Almighty Blues FC is glad but not as glad as usual to come to you. But hopefully, you all definitely like the content and smash that like button as well as subscribe if you haven't. Just the press of a button along with the bell notification icon, because we would like to bring you a lot more content, instant reactions, lot of trivia, and a lot more. So do check out the description and of course some of our playlists. But here is the review, because we have, yes, for those who don't know, dropped points at Stamford Bridge to Burnley. It is Chelsea 1, Burnley 1. I don't know where to begin. Disappointing, but were we bad? Well, stay tuned till the end of the video, because there were a lot of talking points, a lot of them. So let's get into it, guys. To begin with, of course, the starting 11s. For Burnley, no real surprises, but for Chelsea, Tinkerman tactician Thomas Tuchel at it again. He got in Ross Barkley to begin. Yes, Ross Barkley actually began up front along with Kai Havertz and Callum Hudson-Odoi. Ross Barkley, I thought maybe he doesn't have international football and that is why he's starting, because it'll be too long for break for him. But yeah, and obviously he impressed recently. But to start, not sure. In midfield, there was Jorginho and N'Golo Conte against Burnley at home. Do we need two DMs is what I was thinking. Comment below, what were you guys thinking about this? Rest of the squad were kind of expected, because Reece James, Ben Chilwell been great at the wings, and of course our back three, tried and tested, the experienced trio of Rudiger, Christensen and Thiago Silva with Mendy at the back. Chalobah could have played, but anyway, as in that was good enough for me. But yeah, attack, there were question marks to begin. And in the very beginning itself, Barkley kind of proved that, because he lost the ball a couple of times right in the beginning, right? And I was thinking whether it was the right choice, but no, he definitely changed that beyond, because I think he then really took the game by the scruff of the neck. Yes, he definitely took it by the scruff of the neck, and Barkley was for me the man of the match, like overall. Like I have to say, definitely we'll get to the details, but I'm putting it out right now that Barkley was the man of the match, and until he was on the pitch, I think we always looked like scoring. But anyway, third minute, I think, when it was that he kind of lost the ball, but then eventually he got it to, I think, Callum Hudson-Odoi, who was basically, we were kind of countering on the, I think, in the fourth minute, and he got off a great shot, but it was Nick Pope. Nick Pope, yes, saved, and Nick Pope was the man of the match overall, I would say. I'll have to put it out there, because if not for Nick Pope in that first half itself, we would have scored at least 3 goals. So Nick Pope, yes, in the 4th minute he got a great save of Callum Hudson-Odoi, and then 8th minute again, Callum Hudson-Odoi passes to Reece James, but the latter takes time, and then immediately, for the corner, Callum Hudson-Odoi dribbles past the right and gives it on a plate crossed to Andreas Christensen. Now, Callum Hudson-Odoi crossing is not really on for many games, and he did very well in this game in that first half. But Andreas Christensen should have scored. Easy header right in front of the goal, and he glanced it wide. Anyway, hopefully he gets his Premier League goal as well, like he got in the Champions League, sometime soon. But in the 12th minute, already in the 12th minute, we were dominating, and I think we had already 6 attempts on goal, with a couple of them obviously saved by Pope, like I said, right? And we had already won about 4 to 5 corners, so it was clear that it was one-way traffic. There's no two ways about it, right? In the first 12 to 15 minutes, it was very clear for me. And I have to say, Rudiger also made a couple of telling passes, because Burnley were keeping a low block, and as always Rudiger was doing that. And Rudiger reminds me, he actually, I think, made his Premier League debut against Burnley, right? And it was in a 3-2 defeat. Yes, 3-0 at halftime. That game we spoke about in the preview. The link is below, and we did discuss in brief. But was it second time repeating itself? I don't know. Let's see. As in, let's get into details. And again, one of the reasons why I'm getting into details is because a couple of people did tweet about it being not telecast live in parts of UK or Europe. So, this is where Almighty Blues FC is different than many other channels, hopefully. And every channel out there do support, but definitely Almighty Blues FC as well. But getting on to the game again, right? It was, I think, the 13th minute. And I think Barkley plays a lovely 1-2 with Reece James. And talking about Barkley actually also scored against Burnley previously. I think it was in a 4-0 victory back in, I think it was a Turf Moor. So I think Barkley, maybe that was the reason why he started. I don't know. As in too much of a call. Ziyech probably did that as well in the past. So he didn't start. So that is interesting, as did Pulisic. But yeah, as in definitely he was having a great game, continuing to make those runs on the left hand side, and Callum Hudson-Odoi kind of was on the right hand side as the second half of the previous game, like we covered. But yes, I think it was about the 20th minute and we were already having 75% possession. Well, it was again telling that what we were really kind of lacking, that finishing touch, right? And again, this was a point that I was saying that, hey, I know that the commentators mentioned if we win this game, it'll be 5 Premier League wins consecutively, and that hasn't happened for 2 years. So I don't know whether they were jinxing it or what, but anyway, going on again, I was saying that okay, we were basically playing some beautiful football. I have to definitely give the team that, especially like I said, Barkley was beautiful in that first half, along with Kai Havertz, some beautiful 1-2s that they played. But at the end of the day, Burnley, we know, are a set piece specialist. In fact, in the Premier League, I think they are the joint top, highest number of headed goals that they've got. So, that was again kind of in the back of my mind. And I was saying that, hey, don't give them corners. They were not giving them corners, and we were winning a lot of corners and dominating the game, but we needed that goal. And that goal came finally in the 33rd minute, yes, with N'Golo Kanté. By the way, N'Golo Kanté, I have not even spoken about him till now. At this point, I was like singing, literally singing. Trust me. Again, no one was around me, luckily, and now every one of you has to kind of listen to it. But I was singing, N'Golo Kanté, ta na 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 na, N'Golo Kanté, ta na 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 na, ta na na na, ta na na na, ta na na na, whatever. But he was on the pitch like a rock star because N'Golo Kanté passed it to Reece James, who had a brilliant, world-class pinpoint cross, and Havertz was right in front of goal, glanced it, bottom corner, 1-0 to Chelsea. And at that point, I was not only singing but dancing, and I'm not going to dance right now, but that is what it was, right? As in 1-0. And obviously, towards the end of the first half, again we dominated. We created a couple of chances. In fact, Havertz, I think, also got a shot in, and I think it was Nick Pope who, definitely saved Burnley's blushes. That's what I can say. But it was 1-0 at halftime. At halftime, I would definitely have to comment N'Golo Kanté. I just sang for him. I don't do that usually. Kai Havertz, beautiful 1-2s that he played, and with Barkley, of course. So these were the 3 top players of the first half for me. Comment below, what do you think of the first half? But then, the second half, all we needed is that second goal, right? And in the 50th minute, we almost got it. We probably should have got it, right? It was Ben Chilwell, who also had some brilliant runs off the left-hand flank, and our wing backs were awesome, I would say, till at this point at least. And then Ross, again taking the ball and playing it to Reece James, who had a brilliant cross again. And I was thinking, repeat of that goal that happened in the first half or what? But this time, instead of Kai Havertz, it was Thiago Silva in the box, who I think the ball actually hit his shoulder and went off, hit the post, and we kind of missed a goal again. Christensen missed that. Kai Havertz missed one goal in the first half, and of course you can say it was Nick Pope who saved him. But then Thiago Silva should have probably scored there. That's what I can say. But 52nd minute, yes, after just a couple of minutes, Havertz should have scored again. Definitely, like our second rather. He should have scored for sure, because Reece James, winning the ball in midfield. Yes, like all our recent matches, it was one of our wing backs in midfield again, because the opposition were kind of sitting back, so we wanted to create more. So Reece James winning the ball in midfield, giving to Barkley, who had a brilliant touch and feeds off to Callum Hudson-Odoi, who probably could have again fed Reece James, but he decided to dribble and took a shot, saved by Pope, and then Havertz also had a chance. That was basically a great start to the second half as well, and that is where I was thinking that, hey, it's only a matter of time before we score, right? Or is it one of those evenings where we have so many chances and dominate the game, and then the opposition comes biting the end? Now let's see what happens. But at the hour mark, right, I was thinking like, definitely, as in it is time to make some changes, but no, there were no changes, because we were leading and we were dominating the game, but we needed something different. So I thought change is what would have made that. But anyway, Tuchel decided not to change anything, and at this point in time, Christensen also, Andreas Christensen, we have to give him kudos, because he actually won the ball quite a number of times against Chris Wood, and they are known for headers, right? I think Chris Wood won the ball of Andreas Christensen only once, so kudos to him. And at the hour mark, Chris Wood was subbed off. I was thinking maybe Burnley are going negative, but that is what the difference was. The difference was James Rodriguez. James Rodriguez has been a thorn in Chelsea's back, right? As in, he's been that. He's scored about 4 times against Chelsea, right? And I know not in the Premier League, but again, he has scored in the past 4 times. So him coming on at the hour mark, I was thinking that they are going to change their approach, maybe play more football. And that is what exactly happened. But still, in the 65th minute, we should have really doubled our lead, really. That was the time when we should have really doubled our lead. And I think it was Jorginho who was fantastic in the second half. Again, I have to make a point that the people who are fantastic in the first half were probably faded off in the second half, and vice versa. So Havertz, for one, not having a great second half, I would say. And Jorginho had a fantastic second half. At this point in time, he played in Barkley, who played in Callum Hudson-Odoi, like I said, and he probably should have scored. Again, great defending by Burnley overall is what I would say. Definitely kudos to them. But I was thinking, how is Nick Pope not in the England setup? Like, he probably is one of the best English goalkeepers out there. I know it's just one performance, but even then, generally speaking, Burnley, if not for him, would have conceded a lot more in the Premier League, especially in this match, right? But again, Kante. One difference that I noticed in the second half, he was not really a central defensive midfielder or a central midfielder per se. He was more playing on the right hand side, changing the tactics, something Tuchel impressed with that for sure. And he actually passes to Callum Hudson-Odoi in the 71st minute, who put on a plate, literally on a plate, to Ross Barkley. And this was the only moment, except for the first couple of minutes, where Ross Barkley kind of disappointed, because that shot that he took off his left went way over. It's, I think, outside the stadium right now. That's what I would say. But again, Ross Barkley's last effort, because he was subbed off. And I was thinking, was it fair to sub him off? He had a fantastic game, but yeah, he's not played 90 minutes often. So it was only fair, and Ruben Loftus-Cheek probably brings something different. And he was the one who would come on, and we needed the second goal for sure. And I was thinking, well, what's going to happen now? How will we get the second goal? Like, is Ruben Loftus-Cheek going to play a proper forward? Maybe 2 up front? But no, it was basically a similar setup, and we didn't make any changes in terms of the tactics. But certainly, Ruben Loftus-Cheek provided that extra bit of pace and zeal, which was definitely needed towards that 65th, 70th minute, when around the 70th minute Burnley started playing. And I think it was in the 79th minute, yes, 79th minute, when Burnley had already made a couple of changes, and they had, I think, Westwood, their midfielder, playing, I think, a first time great pass to their forward. I think it was James Rodriguez who took the ball. He just cushioned it for Vidra standing, yes, literally standing in front of goal. And he just had a tap in, I think a high tap in rather. But Mendy was beaten. Yes, we were finally beaten. First open play goal in the Premier League this season. And I was thinking, well, that is where the curse has struck. Earlier in the day, Manchester United lost to Manchester City in a humiliating loss for them, like, in terms of the gameplay. And I was thinking, this is the time that we need the lead further than one of the Manchester clubs. And of course, even above ManCity and Liverpool for that matter. It was Burnley at home. The last game we won at home 7-0. Anyway, there was still time. 10 minutes were there. We have done that in the past. But this Chelsea team, do they look like scoring? Do they look like getting that winner? The last minute winner? I don't know. Something told me, just my gut, that is not going to happen tonight. Havertz was looking, off the pace in the second half. Great first half, I have to give him that. But off the pace in that second half. Yes, he had a strapping as well. And of course, one moment he was actually pushed over, I think, the fence by a Burnley player, and almost injured himself as well into the crowd. But again, not much in the second half. And in the 85th minute, finally we made a couple of changes as well. It was Callum Hudson-Odoi who had to come off for Christian Pulisic, who obviously is fit now, and Mason Mount came on. By the way, Mason Mount obviously had some issues with his wisdom tooth, and that's why he's not feeling well. But it was a desperate situation for us needing a winner, and N'Golo Conte was brought off. So fair enough. But at this point, I was thinking, what about Hakim Ziyech? Not 100% Mason Mount is trusted more than 100% Hakim Ziyech, or what? I don't know. Comment below. What do you think about Hakim Ziyech? Was it fair to not start him first and then not even get him on as a sub? Because around that 78th minute, when Burnley was starting to dominate, I was thinking that why don't we get someone who could ping those long balls for a counter, by us? And that's when I was thinking Hakim Ziyech. But again, it was basically Pulisic, who probably was a good choice as well, along with Mason Mount, which was a little bit surprising considering his health. But anyway, and then I was thinking that definitely we need to create couple more chances. Yes, we did create a couple of chances, but no more shots on goal. It was Burnley. Yes, Burnley on the counter. They almost got two more goals. Almost. I would say like definitely one of them they should have scored. Like, one was a lob, and where obviously it was Vidra again, if I'm not wrong, and he kind of lobbed it well over the keeper. But yeah, then we were probably not counter-attacking, but we were really on the attack with, just basically Thiago Silva at the back almost. Rudiger was playing like a midfielder almost. Christensen was playing like a, right back almost. Like, that is how we were playing in the last 5 minutes, and fair enough, we went for it, but yeah, we couldn't do it. I know the crowd wasn't happy because we were playing the ball too much in midfield and wanted more kind of, high balls, but unfortunately we don't have that. In the final third, Kai Havertz was there, was not looking so strong in the second half, and we don't have that aerial power, really, right? So it was fair play to Chelsea. Like, again, Tuchel was really frustrated. Couple of duels on the sidelines that he had with Sean Dyche, and in the end, obviously, when Burnley kind of, were able to defend that and some game management, they were definitely taking a lot of time for maybe Pope to take, his goal kicks and throw-ins, and of course if they're winning fouls, not getting up easily, etc. But that is how football is. Tuchel knows that as a fact as well. Chelsea have done that for many years, in big games, and for Burnley this is a big game, so I have to give them that. But Tuchel, even when he was kind of in the end shaking hands with Sean Dyche after the final whistle went, and yes, we drew 1-1, it was basically him just putting his hand, just taking him off. Like, I don't know. It was really not on by Tuchel, but again, totally understand his frustration because leaves a bad taste in the mouth before this international break. It'll be a torturous international break, but again, hopefully, we will bring a lot of content to you all. Yes, Almighty Blues FC does it. I know we are basically possibly just 1 point ahead of Liverpool. If Liverpool win their match, again, we are recording on a Saturday. Liverpool are having a match on Sunday, but we are still top of the table. And ManCity are looking great. That's just, I think they are 3 points away from 4 points away. Okay, 4 points away from, sorry, they are 3 points away. 3 points away from Chelsea. So again, comment below. What do you think is going to happen? 11 game weeks in. Interesting, right? And again, if you like our content, smash that like button. Do subscribe. Press that bell notification icon. And of course, share the link. Certainly helps. Ankit here, signing off. Have a good break and we'll be back. Take care, guys.